Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Bible study. I am Dale of the Biblical Linguist. Today we are finishing off Matthew chapter 4. We're going to go verses 21 to 25. And a little side note, I did just have the opportunity to visit Greece for the first time in my life. We went to Crete. It was a wonderful time. Surrounding yourself in the culture really helps a lot. Getting to interact with locals was, of course, just a joy. And one of the most special experiences was I got to attend a Palm Sunday service at the nearby Greek Orthodox church. It was in a village. I was the only American there. Everybody was looking at me like, who's this guy? It was absolutely incredible. I attended the entire 3-hour service. It's just so amazing to see this stuff in real life, as opposed to the liturgies here that we get in the States. They're about half Greek, half English. There it was all Greek. Everything was written in Greek. Everybody was speaking Greek. It was just the coolest experience ever. And I also got a little handout that I kept from this church. I'll put it up on the screen for you to read if you are so interested. All right. Anyways, continuing on, Matthew chapter 4, verse 21. Que provas ekithen idhen alos dio adelphus Iakovon tu Zebedeu ke Ioannin ton adelphon αυτού εν το πλοίο μετά Zebedeo του πατρός αυτών καταρτίζοντας τα δίκτυα αυτών και εκάλεσεν αυτούς. All right, so και provas ekithen idhen alos dio adelphus. All right, so ke provas, and he went. Ekithen means from there. This is my first time seeing this word. Yeah, it occurs 37 times, and it just means from there. Ekithen, I guess ek out of Ethan over there. Idhen alos dio adelphus, seeing another two brothers. So we have Iakovon ton tu Zebedeo, Jacob, son of Zebedee, ke Ioannin ton adelphon avto, and John, his brother. John being Jacob's brother. En to plio. Now here's a good word, plio, in the boat. The modern word is also plio. It remains the standard term for ship or vessel. It used to broadly cover any floating vessel in ancient Greek, but it is now specialized in the modern language. A plio now refers to larger seagoing vessels, such as commercial ships, ferries, or naval warships. A common alternative in modern Greek is the word karavi, and this is often interchangeable with plio, but karavi is a little bit more informal. This other word that I'm all too familiar with, varca, they use this in Spanish as well, la barca, and we have it in English too, barge. A varca is used for small boats, replacing many of the diminutive uses that plion might have covered in the past. So a varca is a smaller boat. What's funny is when I was in Puerto Rico recently, I was walking around looking for a pharmacy. My mom needed some medication, and the lady asked me, "Estás con la barca?" And I'm like, "Am I with the barge?" And what she was referring to was the cruise ship. In this sense, I guess the barca in Spanish could mean a large cruise ship as well. Yeah, one thing I intend to do with this channel is show you how this old Koine Greek is still alive today in modern Greek. And so I'm going to be giving like example sentences as I go, just to kind of illustrate this, because my particular approach is I'm trying to understand the Koine Greek, but I'm not trying to be able to speak it. I want to be able to speak modern Greek. Part of this channel's mission, the investigation, if you will, is just to see firsthand how closely what's spoken in modern times relates to the Koine period. A modern sentence would look something like this. To plio fevgi stis ochto to proi. The ship leaves at 8 in the morning. En megalo plio phanike ston horizonda. A large ship appeared on the horizon. To plio metefere emprorevmata se olo ton cosmo. The vessel was transporting goods all over the world. All right, so back to the Koine. Into plio meta Zebedeo tu patros avton. In the boat with their father Zebedee. Katarizondas ta dictia avton. Now we've seen this word dictia before. It means nets. Katarizondas here means mending the nets or repairing. So katarizo means to adjust thoroughly, to knit together, to untie completely. It occurs 13 times. So the verb katarizo is powerful and versatile. It has transitioned from classical and biblical context into modern Greek with slightly shifted but related meaning. Kata is a prefix. It means down or according to. Artizo is a verb derived from artios, which means properly adjusted, complete, or adequate. So the literal meaning is to fit together exactly or to bring into complete working order. In modern Greek, katarizo is used in professional and educational context. It means to draw up or compose something, used for drafting plans or lists or budgets. It could also mean to train or to prepare, and it could also mean to organize. So it's this idea of exactly how it's used in the Bible, taking a net and mending it, or taking things and setting them up, organizing them, making them ready. This idea of composing something or training or organizing, it all kind of fits in this, right? And in the historical and biblical context, it meant mending, restoring, or perfecting. So it's not a word that you yourself would probably find yourself using on a daily basis if you were a Greek. Instead, you would see it in, official professional settings. For example, πρέπει να καταρτήσουμε ένα σχέδιο. We need to draft or formulate a plan. You'd probably see it in the news. Τα κόμματα κατάρτισαν μια συμμαχία. The parties formed an alliance. Καταρτίζουμε τη λίστα των καλεσμένων. We are compiling the guest list. Καλεσμένων, those who are called, I guess. And it can also be used as an adjective. Είναι ένας πολύ καταρτισμένος επαγγελματίας. He is a well-trained or highly qualified professional. So it can mean καταρτισμένος, could mean well-trained and highly qualified. This stuff is all useful to know. Embrace every last syllable of it. Καταρτίζοντας τα δίκτυα αυτών, mending their nets, και εκάλεσεν αυτούς, and called them. So how would I translate this whole thing? He went from there and saw two other brothers, Jacob of Zebedee, or I'd put the word son in there for clarification, Jacob son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, Jacob's brother, in the boat with Zebedee, their father, mending their nets, and he called them. All right, number 22. Είδε ευθέως αφέντες το πλοίον και τον πατέρα αυτόν ακολούθησαν αυτό. Ευθέως means straight, but in this context it would mean immediately. Afendes, we covered afino. This is where the modern Greek afino comes from, to leave or to let. I covered it in the last video. Afendes to plion, and immediately they left the boat, και τον πατέρα αυτόν, and their father, ακολούθησαν αυτό, and they followed him. So it's pretty straightforward, and immediately they left their boat and their father and followed him, followed Jesus. Kind of messed up that they leave their father behind, but I suppose if the calling was strong enough, they just couldn't resist. All right, nothing really there to focus on too deeply. Number 23. Και περίγεν εν όλη τη Γαλιλαία, διδάσκων εν τες συναγωγές αυτών και κηρύσσον το Ευαγγέλιον της Βασιλείας και θεραπεύων πάσαν νόσον και πάσαν μαλακίαν εν το λαό. Good words here. So this word tripped me up a little bit. Περίγεν, from periago. Ago means to lead. Peri means around. Think of perimeter. And so if you have the root ago here, to lead around, is literally what it breaks down to. So que perigen en oliti Galilea. Pretty easy. And Jesus went all about Galilee, all around it. Didaskon, teaching. The modern Greek word daskalos is a teacher, and it's still very much the same word today. If I'm like in this video, I could say didasko, I'm teaching. Didaskon en tes synagoges, teaching in the synagogues. Didasko is an important word. It occurs 97 times, and it still means to teach today. In fact, it doesn't appear to have changed at all. Synagogi means a gathering place, literally. This occurs 56 times, and it's a very important word. Afton ke kirison, I covered this word before. It means to proclaiming. So Evangelion tis Vasilias, so proclaiming the gospels of the kingdom. Και therapevon, therapy, he healed. Pasan, noson, every disease. So this word, the root of this word is nosos, and it means a disease, a sickness, or distemper. This is the modern Greek word for, It's a formal and scientific term for disease or malady. Its usage is primarily medical or literary. In modern Greek, the more common word that you'll hear is asthenia, illness, or arrostia. This nosos is still a good word to know, but just know that if you're studying modern Greek, asthenia and arrostia are what are going to be used today. So we have pasan noson que pasan malakian. Malakian means sickness. From malakia, it means weakness or infirmity of the body. In modern Greek, this is used almost as a vulgar slang term. So you could say miles malakies, don't talk nonsense. And so yeah, be careful with using this one in modern Greek. Let's just say that. Okay. Ntolao, among the people. How would I translate this? Jesus went around in all of Galilee, teaching in its synagogues and proclaiming the gospels of the kingdom and curing every disease and sickness among the people. Number 24. Que apilthen I akoi aftu is olintin Syrian que rosinegan afto pandastus kakos έχοντας ποικίλες νόσεις και βασάνεις συνεχισμένους, δαιμονιζομένους και σεληνιαζομένους και παραλυτικούς και εθεράπευσεν αυτούς. Oh, that was rough. So this one has a lot of dense new words. I can't help but to have a little fun and read that whole thing off in my favorite pronunciation, Erasmian. Kai apelthen I akue auto is olin tain Syrian ke prosenenkan auto pandas tus kakus ekontas poikiles nosois kai basanois synekomenos daimonizomenus kai seleniazomenus kai paraluticus kai Etherapiusin autus. Beautiful. Just rolls off the tongue. All right, this is going to be a tough one. So, apilthen comes from aperhome, which means to go away and depart. Akoi here means hearing, or the act or sense of hearing, and is often translated as report, the reports of him. Akoi, that's a hard one. Syrian, pretty straightforward, Syria. Rosinegan here comes from prosphero, which means to bear, to bring. Kakos here means suffering or bad, wretched, wicked. It means all the bad things, right? And we also have this word in Spanish. It means mierda, caca. It means excrement. So kakos in modern Greek means badly or wrongly, mistakenly, poorly. Kakos irthes toso noris. You shouldn't have come so early, or it was a mistake to come so early. Kakos to ekanes afto. You were wrong to do that. And, we have this word in English too, I think. I remember when I was really young, my aunt telling my cousin that, no, that's caca. Like, that's gross. I don't know how many people use it because I don't hear anybody really using it in recent memory, but I know that the Spanish use it, and this word cacos is absolutely related to share the same Proto-Indo-European root caca, which means to defecate. Most etymologists believe that the adjective cacos for bad and vile evolved from crappy root. In the ancient mind, the things that were bad were metaphorically associated with excrement. It's not so ancient. I think it's quite a modern concept as well. The Spanish word caca comes from the Latin verb cacare, which means to defecate. Hebrew is kaki, and German is kachen. And this is where we get our English word cacophony from, which means a bad sound. Cacography is bad handwriting. Yeah, so in English-speaking households, caca is used as a nursery word to communicate something gross, dirty, or not to be touched. Yes, this is exactly how it was used by my aunt 40 years ago. Well, 35 years ago. Parents often say that's caca to a toddler to stop from picking something off the ground. So here, cacos means suffering. Echondas, from echo, means to have. So there's more words here that need delving into. Piquiles from the root piquilos. So this means of various colors, checkered, various, diverse, manifold. Gnosis, which is just the plural, it's the dative feminine plural of nosos, diseases. Asanis from vasanos means pains, not very common, used in the New Testament to denote torture, torment, or severe pain. But again, it is obscure, used only 3 times. Synechomenos from synecho. The prefix sin means together, synagogue, a gathering, a crowd. Sin echo, sin together, echo, have. It means to hold together, to confine. Que demonizomenos from demonizome. This root means to be possessed, afflicted, vexed by a demon or evil spirit. It's pretty obvious because we have the word demon in the word. Seliniazomenus from seliniazome. It only occurs twice and it means to be a lunatic. Paralyticus from paralytikos, which means, of course, lame or palsied, and this is obviously where we get our word from paralytic from. Ke therapefsen from therapevo, which means to cure or heal. I want to touch on this word seliniazome. The Greek word for moon is selini. This word actually comes from. It means literally moon struck, to be moon-ized or moon-struck. In ancient times, it was believed that certain diseases, particularly with those with periodic or sudden symptoms, were caused by aggravated phases of the moon. Oh, so the word lunatic, luna, la luna in Spanish and Italian means moon. Yeah, so lunatic, this is where our word lunatic comes from. I would have never known. That's a crazy etymological, my mind is blown right there. Yeah, and in modern Greek usage, this word is used to go crazy, to lose your mind, to be in a lunatic's state. So it's literally seliniazome. It means I am moonstruck. Seliniastica, I became moonstruck. Seliniastike que archise se phonazi choris logo. He went crazy and started shouting for no reason. That's pretty cool. I'd also like to revisit this demonizome. Obviously, as intuitive as it is, I'm sure there's still some hidden gems in here. So, yes, to be possessed by a demon, daemon, which in ancient Greek meant a spirit or divine power, but in the New Testament, modern Greek evolved to mean demon. The suffix izome indicates a passive state, meaning the action is being done to the person by the spirit. So some modern examples would be demonistike otan emathe tin alethia. He went into a demonic rage when he learned the truth. We see many modern cases of this, unfortunately, especially on Twitter. Me demonizi I adikia. Injustice drives me crazy. Demonismenos means someone who's possessed or acting like a madman. Now let's visit paralyticus. It is the accusative plural of paralytikos, which means paralytic. Para means beside or beyond. Lio means to loosen or untie. It's funny how much this root actually comes up in Greek. This is one of the first Greek words I learned, and I'm like, why are they teaching me this? Lio. Like, to loosen, to untie, like it's not a common thing we even talk about it. Yeah, the Greeks combine this word with a lot of concepts. So, paralio, combining these two, it means to be loosened at the side or to be unstrung. In the ancient mindset, paralysis was viewed as dissolving or relaxing the nerves or strength that holds the body together. Paralytikos is still the modern standard adjective and noun for paralytic, though medical professionals will use the term paralytos. And I would like to also touch on this therapevo as well, because obviously this is where we get our word for therapy from. The modern Greek word therapevo is the direct ancestor of the English word therapy and remains in the standard formal term for to heal, to cure, to treat. The word originates from therapon, which in ancient Greek meant an attendant or an aide. Originally, it meant to serve or to take care of somebody. Over time, taking care of someone specifically meant taking care of the sick, which eventually evolved into the modern meaning of providing medical treatment or a cure. The everyday word in modern Greek for to heal somebody is iatrevo, which is where we would get the word iatros, the modern Greek word for doctor, from. Therapevo is used in more formal or professional contexts. O iatros me therapevi. The doctor is treating me. Pharmaca therapevon poles thenies. Medicines cure many illnesses. Prepi na therapevsume to problema sti risa tu. We have to heal or fix the problem at its root. All right, so I think I'm ready to translate this. Sorry, I took a long time on that one. Word of him spread throughout all of Syria, and they brought before him all of the maladies, all of the sick, those who were afflicted with a multitude of sicknesses and pains, people who were demon possessed and lunatics and paralytics, and Jesus cured them. So yeah, so this is a good one to exegete as well. As Jesus' fame basically is spreading throughout Syria, people heard of this and they brought people before him that were suffering from all kinds of illnesses and mental problems. And you think of any major city today, right, with the homeless, you know, these people that are walking around talking to themselves, obviously chronic drug abusers and things like that. They're taking people like that from the ancient world. They're bringing them before Jesus, the sick, the infirm, the destitute. They bring them before him and he cures them of their maladies. Okay, last one. Ke ikoluthisan afto ochlipoli apotis Galileas ke decapoleos ke Hierosolimon ke Judeas ke perantu Jordano. All right, so this one's pretty easy. Ikoluthisan aftu ochli poli apotis Galileas. Many large crowds followed him from Galilee, from Decapolis, from Jerusalem, from Judea, and all around the Jordan River, I guess, in this case. So yes, as the word is getting out about Jesus, he just becomes super famous, basically. People are just flocking to this man to receive healing and to also receive his word. He's going to synagogues now. These aren't all going to be super specific, detailed out instances, but what Matthew is describing here is his memory of a time of following Jesus and just witnessing the wonder as they're moving about all throughout these regions, probably walking, covering great distances, being exhausted, meeting with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, curing hundreds of people, preaching to them in the synagogues, speaking the truth about the kingdom to the world. It was causing quite a stir. We shouldn't sort of just gloss over the significance of these events because there were so many to even list each one out. He's describing in general how we were just going to all these places and healing and speaking to all these people. Yeah, this was the beginnings of the ministry. These are very important passages to really focus on. So anyways, with that, I'm going to shut it down. Thank you all so much for watching and geeking out with me today. I hope you learned a few things. I definitely learned a bunch myself. Again, I'm not so much here lecturing as I am studying and presenting my findings in real time as I find them. So a lot of this information I don't know before the video. I'm just covering how I research and covering my discoveries. And this helps me because as I rewatch my own videos, it cements all this further into my head. So I would encourage you to do the very same thing. And as always, I'm using my favorite Bible study tool, the Cross Bible, which is owned and operated by my friend and fellow professor Stephen Nelson, who actually just had an amazing talk with a professor regarding the possibility that the ancient Greek script may have been written long before we previously thought. And I'm definitely open to entertaining that idea. So I'll leave a link to that video down below. Fascinating talk. I've actually listened to it 3 times in completion, and I still didn't understand everything I was hearing. But stay tuned, keep searching, keep researching, and until next time, I'm Dale of the Biblical Linguist. I'll see y'all in my next video.